Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einem neuen React auf dem Kanal, zusammen mit Apfel.
Hallo.
Heute reacten wir auf The Minecraft Eisberg Explained von Retro Gaming Now. Wir haben hier sogar Timestamps, Introduction, Surface Level, ja,
Okay,
The Abyss. Ja, schauen wir einfach mal rein, was es ist. Der Video. Oh, okay, ja. Mein Gott. Das ist ja, damit es halt mehr dasteht.
We've all played or at least heard of Minecraft. It's one of the most popular games of all time and has sold over 200 million copies. But even such a well-known franchise has its secrets. There are layers of the iceberg that most of us will never see. Today, I want to take all of my viewers on a journey down below. I'm going to address the elephant in the room. This video was inspired by the Super Mario 64 Iceberg video by Mishkaz. However, he has stated that he doesn't have any interest in doing the Minecraft Iceberg, so I decided that I might as well do it. Thanks so much for the concept, and I love your channel. I am going to use one of his ideas, which is the health meter. For every theory I talk about, this health bar shows my confidence in its accuracy. 1 heart means that the theory is clearly proven false, and it gets more and more likely as we go up, until we reach 10 hearts, where the theory is definitely true.
Okay, bin ich
One
gespannt.
more thing. I'm not entirely sure where this iceberg originated from, but I've included a few references at the end of the video. I didn't.
So, was haben wir hier denn? Die Farlands, Herobrine, Steve Posting done bei Minecraft, bei Mojang. Minecraft. Creepers based on a real plant. Entity 303. Haben wir irgendwo 422?
Eaters in the Base Game.
Fake Multiplayer. Pocket Edition Tracks You.
Hypixel Housing. Wie noch bist du gerade ein Mikrofon?
Ja, schon ein bisschen.
Okay. Craftable LSD.
The Simpsons Skin Pack Controversy.
Evoker chants are actual cult recordings.
Wow. The Bible predicted Minecraft. Okay, ich bin gespannt auf The Bible predicted Minecraft.
Farm for hidden frequencies.
Withers based on failed Siberian modification experiment. Okay, lass einfach mal schauen. Bin
Das war das, wo
gespannt.
Flo, glaube ich, im Stream schauen wollte.
Was?
In unserem Halloween-Stream hat ja, während wir gegessen haben, wo das Flo ja mehrere Videos reingemacht, auch mit so einem Russenexperiment.
Ja, nee, das Russenexperiment war, hat irgendwas mit Schlafen zu tun.
Nee, der hat da auch noch 2, 3 andere
anderes?
reingemacht.
Okay, das habe ich dann.
Ja.
Ich habe da, glaube ich, gerade mit der Cam gekämpft.
Ja, genau.
Egal.
That out of the way,
Bin
let's
gespannt.
dive into the waves
The
and see
Vindicators
how
are building a
deep the
Steve.
Minecraft iceberg goes. Steve posting.
Ich finde schön, dass wir beide getanzt haben.
Steve posting was a meme that originated on 4chan in 2018, which had an uncomfortably realistic render of Steve, Minecraft's main character. A user on the V board created a post trying to convince others that Steve should be included in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. From there, people posted various spin-offs.
Oh
The
Gott.
theory is that some of the Steve posting was straight from Mojang themselves, maybe to legitimately push for Steve in Smash, or maybe just for some obscure viral marketing. Regardless, I can't actually find any information
Oh
that
Gott,
leads me to
das,
believe
oh
that this
Gott,
is
ich bin
true.
so froh.
However,
Ich
given
bin so
the
froh, dass
anonymous
die
nature of 4chan,
das
it's
Bessere
certainly not
geklickt
impossible.
haben.
The Farlands.
Okay, die Farlands sind 100% true.
Generation glitch that existed originally in older versions of Minecraft.
Yeah.
If a player went far enough from the spawn point,
Gott,
the
leckt
world
das.
generation would become crazy with choppy columns and bizarre structures.
Ja, das ist ja
There were
auch ein
several
Ziel,
different
Alter.
variations that it could generate depending on the
Lol.
location. In the Java edition, it was removed with version 1.8 in 2011. However, a similar effect remains in Bedrock edition, although the exact look and feel of these Farlands is different than Java.
Skygrid.
The Farlands hold an important place in Minecraft folklore, and rightfully so. The overworld generation is supposed to look similar to real life. Well, supposed to. So finding a place where all the rules were broken that generated naturally was clearly a cause for discussion. It sparks the imagination to know that the Farlands are always somewhere out there, if only you're willing to walk for long enough.
Ja.
Herobrine,
532
Nox's
Stunden.
brother. Herobrine. If you're a player like me who's been playing Minecraft for a long time, the name itself should bring you back to an era when zombies dropped feathers and hunger didn't exist. It was a simpler
Stimmt.
time.
Zombies
And
haben ja
yet,
immer
with a
Federn
game so
gedroppt.
pure as Minecraft, myself and countless other players were haunted by a single image of a ghostly Steve with dead white eyes. An accompanying text posted on 4chan tells the story of someone who created a new world and would occasionally catch glimpses of the figure in the fog. Confused, he went to the Minecraft forums, only to have his posts deleted. He received a message from a non-existent user called Herobrine with only the word stop. The player was able to connect with some others who had seen Herobrine, and one of them revealed that it was supposedly the brother of Notch, the game's developer. The player emailed Notch asking if he had a brother. His response? I did, but he is no longer with us. I could make an entire video on Herobrine and his place in Minecraft history, but others have done this better than I ever could. For now, I'll stick to the facts. First of all,
was ist das?
Mach weiter.
Minecraft School, Herobrine Homeless Challenge, Minecraft Animation.
Mach einfach weiter.
Warum?
For now,
Don't
I'll
ask.
stick to the facts. First of all, Herobrine was never coded into any version of Minecraft. Data miners have not been able to find anything that matches the story's behaviors.
Das ist die KI.
Notch denies Herobrine, stating that there's no such thing as Herobrine and that Notch himself doesn't have any dead brothers. Still, there are quote-unquote canonical references to Herobrine in Minecraft. Almost every changelog from a major version includes the note, removed Herobrine. To me, this is just a running joke between the developers and the community.
Das ist so geil, aber trotzdem geil.
Also das haben sie auch schon rausgenommen.
Minceraft. Minceraft is a funny
Minceraft!
Oh mein
Java
Gott.
edition of Minecraft. Every time the game starts, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance that the title screen says Minceraft
Was?
instead of Minecraft.
What?
It's so subtle, but it's definitely there if you look. Makes me wonder.
What? Digga, ich will nicht wissen, wie oft wir das schon gehabt haben und einfach nicht bemerkt haben, weil dann niemand
Ja, aber was hat er gesagt? 1 in a million chance oder so?
10.000, oder?
Instead of Minecraft. Game starts, there's a 1 in 10,000 chance.
10.000.
Ja, aber 10.000. Oh mein Gott, ich achte nur noch darauf.
Aber es wird wahrscheinlich bloß in Default Texture Pack funktionieren.
Puh.
Aber das existiert ja 10 out of 10.
Ja, muss ja nicht. Nur in Default.
Ja, wenn du es änderst. Du kannst es ja ändern im Texture Pack. Egal, aber trotzdem krank, geil.
Instead of
Nice.
Minecraft.
Oh
It's
mein
so subtle,
Gott.
But it's definitely there if you look. Makes me wonder how many times I've had Minceraft and never noticed.
Ja.
Building past 255. In Minecraft, every block has an XYZ coordinate location. X and Z are virtually limitless, but the vertical Y-axis is restricted between 0 and 255. Although players can fly outside of these bounds, no blocks can be placed past 255. In my research, I was unable to find any way to increase this limit without the use of mods. I'm not sure if this entry is implying that it's possible or just stating that there's a vertical limit. Regardless, the lack of examples speaks for itself on this one. Entity 303. This is another creepypasta about a disgruntled ex-Mojang employee that hacked into players' games and was going to destroy Minecraft. Strictly speaking, this one's not impossible, but I think the story takes advantage of people who don't really know what hacking is and are easily scared by computer jargon. Additionally, 303 was supposedly going to ruin Minecraft by the end of 2014 or 2015. Yet, here we are, discussing a game that remains wildly popular. I think of Entity 303 as a bargain bin Herobrine. It's a similar type of idea, but without the intrigue and novelty that made Herobrine so fascinating.
Herobrine so viel
Red
cooler.
Dragon. The Red Dragon was a mob that Notch planned to add to Minecraft. It was intended to live in the overworld in order to balance out the Ender Dragon. However, since Notch left Mojang, the mob has yet to appear in vanilla versions. In 2013, the developer Dinnerbone said that it was never promised. We have no plans of adding a Red Dragon at this time. A few months later, he said that Red Dragons would be added one day, but not right now though. That was over 6 years ago, so it seems to me that Red Dragons are relegated to the list of scrapped features. The Nether Reactor. When Minecraft Pocket Edition came out, there was no way to access the Nether. As a result, the developers added the Nether Core block. When blocks were placed in an appropriate configuration, the Nether Core could be activated, generating a structure of netherrack called the Nether Spire. Then it would spew out items such as glowstone, quartz, and melon seeds, as well as spawning pigmen. It was an interesting solution to the technical limitations of the mobile platform, but to me, it's not much more than an oddity in the history of Minecraft. Creepers based on a real plant. Creepers have been described by the developers as crunchy, like dry leaves. I think this entry is referring to the possibility that creepers were based on a real-world plant. No, not these creepers, but rather a type of moss called sphagnum, or peat moss. In order to spread its spores, it releases them in an explosion that propels them up in the air. There's a game theory video that goes into detail about this, but the gist is that creepers are doing the same thing as the moss. When they explode, their spores get attached to a host, which can then carry them far distances. My personal opinion is that this theory is just a theory. A game theory!
Oh god.
Sorry.
No.
The evidence for this to be true is pretty limited, and it doesn't seem likely that Notch would have put so much thought into a mob that was supposedly created by flipping the height and length of a pig. More on that later. Still, it's certainly possible, and some would even say plausible, that this is true. The Aether is in the base game. The Aether is a mod from the alpha days of Minecraft, which added a fantastical sky dimension with new mobs, items, and dungeons. The Aether mod was incredibly popular and introduced a lot of people to modded Minecraft, myself included. However, it was never built into the base game. I think this misconception comes from the fact that at one point a different sky dimension was planned, and it actually saw limited implementation in beta releases. However, it was ultimately scrapped. One could argue that the end is the true realization of the Aether or sky dimension.
Nah.
I think that's possible, but it's stylistically so different that I'm not sure it was intended to replace the sky dimension. Rather, it's a different dimension with some similarities. Minecraft includes several music discs for the player to find, which can be enjoyed using a jukebox. Most of these are just electronic songs by the game's composer C418, and they have titles like Cat or Blocks. However, one of these discs is different. It's jagged and broken and is known simply as 11.
Yeah.
Let's cozy up by the fireside and take a listen.
Glaubst du nicht, dass wenn man 11 und noch 2 andere zusammen macht, hat man eine Story?
Maybe? Ich weiß es gar nicht.
Das habe ich auch mal getestet. Ich weiß auch nicht, was das war.
Ich meine, die anderen spielen hier Musik.
Frag mich, warum die Disc 11 jetzt gemacht haben.
Ja, das wäre interessant. Kannst aber, glaube ich, nie erfahren.
This disc was deeply unsettling to myself and many other players when we first heard it, especially compared to the bright and upbeat tunes from the other discs. Some people say that this is an Enderman attack, but that's unlikely to be true since the audio existed in the game files at least 8 months before Endermen were added.
Oh.
To understand what's happening, we need to go deeper. At the conclusion of the disc, some strange otherworldly sounds occur. We can analyze the audio file using a spectrogram. At the very end, we can just barely make out several numbers. 12 is equal to C in hexadecimal, so it spells out C418, the game's composer. It's a neat little Easter egg. However, if we scroll back a few seconds, an image of a creeper appears. Is this another Easter egg, or is it implying something else? A Reddit user named DirtPiper has come up with an idea that explains what's happening pretty well. He uses audio from another disc called 13, which has mostly ambient noises. At 1:30, the sound cuts off for 11 seconds. DirtPiper suggests that this is where disc 11 should be played. Combining discs 11 and 13 creates a story about a character in a cave who flees from a creeper and barely survives. You can read the details on his post, which I'll link in the description.
Yeah, das war
The two
das.
discs line up in such a convenient way that it's hard for me to see this as dumb coincidence. But disc 11 is another one of those rabbit holes that has a lot going on, and no theory is bulletproof. It's a fitting end to the top tier of the iceberg.
Okay, wir haben das erste geschafft. Shallow Waters.
Ruby Dung was a game created by Notch before he started working on Minecraft. We know that it's a top-down isometric building game, but there are only a few screenshots in existence. Ruby Dung has a direct connection to Minecraft. The grass, dirt, and cobblestone textures are the same. In fact, the earliest versions of Minecraft had the RD for Ruby Dung in the name, as Notch was initially modifying its source code. Given this evidence, I find it very likely that Ruby Dung was in fact a direct precursor to Minecraft. Empty beta servers. Multiplayer has been in Minecraft since the pre-alpha versions. I have fond memories of playing on servers as a kid with my friends. I even ran one for a while. However, as time goes on and the game updates, people move on to new servers and different games. What about the beta servers? Surely many of them are either shut down with the dwindling player base or updated to new versions. But what about those that didn't? Are there old, abandoned beta servers that have no players but are still running? Liminal spaces that will forever be empty, a ghost town of a once bustling city? Honestly, this is one that's pretty hard to completely rule out. Sure, people who physically own server hardware are unlikely to miss that it's running Minecraft. However, I could see someone using their parents' credit card to sign up for a remotely hosted server before eventually forgetting about it. They never log on again, even though someone's still paying for it each month. The world sits and sits forever, always there but never entered.
Oh mein Gott.
Somewhere, at some IP address, this server exists.
Wie geil.
Game Mode 4.
Das ist geil.
Game Mode
Minecraft
4.
has several game modes, including Survival, Creative, Adventure, and Spectator. Each of these alters the game in fundamental ways, and they serve different purposes. There's a console command which allows the player to change the mode. This is accomplished by typing /game mode followed by a number. 0 for Survival, 1 for Creative, and 2 for Adventure. Spectator doesn't have a number, but it would be number 3. So where is number 4? Well, it doesn't exist. I can't find any sort of lore or discussion about what Game Mode 4 might be, so this is the best I've got. It's not real, and it's not that mysterious.
Cool.
Villager News Real Broadcast.
Hey, das war's einfach bloß, es gibt 3, wo es 4.
Ja, was kommt denn jetzt? Villager News Real Broadcast.
Oh, ich liebe Villager News.
Series of Minecraft animations by Element Animation. It shows what a newscast would be like in a Minecraft village. It's humorous with inane logic and highlights the stupidity of the villagers. I think this entry is supposed to imply that these are actual broadcasts from Minecraft villagers. I'm not sure, but it's obvious that this theory doesn't have much going for it.
Yes.
Wither skeletons are dead Steves. This is another one from MatPat. The idea revolves around the ancient people who built the nether fortresses. Apparently when they were buried, the netherrack sucked the souls out of them, creating soul sand and leaving behind the withered skeleton.
Okay, so good
Thus, the wither skeletons that guard the nether fortresses are the remains of the people that built them. It would also explain why the chests in the fortresses have items from the overworld, such as diamonds and iron. I think this one is somewhat plausible. It's certainly a convenient explanation as to why wither skeletons are at nether fortresses, but it doesn't explain why that's the only place they spawn. Soul sand can be found throughout the nether, which implies that wither skeletons should also exist everywhere. Still, I think this theory has some merit.
Aber coole Idee.
Das ist echt.
I'm not quite sure what this is referring to. There have been multiple versions of the launcher, and if you run the current version in compatibility mode for Windows 95, it brings up one of the older versions.
Windows 95.
The only other thing that it could be is an Easter egg on earlier versions that would bring up a creeper face or a shrug emoji if clicked. None of these are really a menu though, so this doesn't have much going for it. Cave ambiance happens in real life. Minecraft has all of these creepy noises that play when you descend into a cave. There are theories that compare each of them, including a particularly obtuse one that says that Steve is in a coma from a minecart crash, and the entire game is played in his head.
Warte, was?
Was a miner forced out of other jobs due to automation. An explosion occurs while Steve is in the mines and causes Steve to go into coma. The game Minecraft is the dreams he has in his coma. Every time you create a new world, it's a different version of his dreams. Mods are more fantastical versions of his dreams. The different NPCs and mobs are manifestations of Steve's subconscious. And other players are the different miners caught in the explosion crash. It sounds far-fetched, I know, but it is interesting nonetheless. Nee.
Nee,
in terms
never.
of real-life cave noises, I can't find much about it. Pawbob is a developer. Pawbob is a player on the legendary anarchy server 2B2T, who has been around since nearly the beginning.
Das ist ein heftiger
He helped
Server.
the server's admin by writing a plugin that stopped people from getting stuck on the nether roof. Conveniently, that plugin also included a backdoor that allowed for infinite items, flying, and teleportation for Pawbob and all of his friends. They created an appropriately named base called Plugin Town. He had various other clever exploits, including developing hacking software and using Thunderbolt sound data to pinpoint chunks with active players. The theory states that Pawbob is actually the developer of Minecraft going undercover. It could potentially make sense given his deep knowledge of the game's inner workings and ability to exploit them. But he could also just be a Java developer who knows how to find vulnerabilities. The theory is possible, but I wouldn't say it's likely. Fake multiplayer. I can't find much for this one. Some mobile games are known to have fake multiplayer, but this is clearly not the case for a game as advanced as Minecraft. Super secret settings.
Achso, das war's.
Earlier versions of Minecraft included a super secret settings button in the options
Gibt's doch
menu.
immer noch, oder?
When selected, it cycled through various built-in shaders. The button was removed by version 1.9.
Ja.
The moon is alive.
Aber warum
The only
gab's
thing I could find on this is
Was
actually
cool
the
war.
opposite, which is that the sun is dead. When Minecraft switches from day to night, the sun, moon, and stars move together, which is contrary to how it works in real life on Earth. The YouTuber Spumwack has a theory that says that the only way for this to happen is if the moon, sun, and all the stars are orbiting the Minecraft world. Supposedly a civilization in the far future detonated their old home and turned it into a star, before moving to the brown dwarf that was their dead sun. I think this just makes no sense with the context of the rest of the game, but the astronomy on Minecraft is certainly a bit strange.
Was?
Hidden achievements. Minecraft does actually have a few achievements that are only visible once you get them. How Did We Get Here requires that the player have no fewer than 26 different status effects on them at one time. It's incredibly challenging and unlikely that anyone would stumble into this by accident. The 1.14 Village and Pillage update added a second hidden achievement called Arbalistic, where the player needs to kill 5 unique mobs with 1 crossbow shot. Steve's Spawn Egg. Spawn eggs are used in creative mode to spawn mobs on command. This one refers to a theoretical egg that would be able to spawn Steve. It doesn't actually exist in the game. It's interesting to note, however, that at one point humans could spawn naturally in the world. In fact, they were the first mob added to Minecraft. If there were spawn eggs at that time, then probably there
Da
would
waren
have
sie
been a
doch
human
happy.
spawn egg.
Oh mein Gott, wie geil.
Inactive accounts. I think this one is similar to empty beta servers, but somehow less interesting. There are countless Minecraft accounts that are not being actively used. Not much more to say here.
Yeah, die devs.
Mojang bought Microsoft. This one
Was?
is clearly making a joke on the fact that Microsoft acquired Mojang in 2014 for $2.5 billion. It's inconceivable that somehow the reverse happened. Creepers were intentional. Earlier, I alluded to the story that Notch first got the idea for a creeper when he accidentally flipped the length and height of a pig.
Well, I mean, the creepers were a mistake. I defined and I accidentally made them tall instead of...
Warum steht da unlicensed copy? Wie geil.
log, so it's like a tall thing with 4 little feet.
Or locked him from another location.
Oh, okay.
The theory says that this story is false and that Notch actually designed the creeper on purpose to look the way that it does.
Yeah.
This is one that you can't prove either way. You can choose to take Notch at his word or not. I see no reason for him to lie about this one. Block ID 1111. Each block and item in Minecraft has an ID number that differentiates it from the others. For example, stone is 1, grass is 2, etc. The highest number is 453 before a jump to 2256 for the music discs. It's possible that this is an oblique reference to disc 11, which I've mentioned before. The only other thing it could be is block 111, which is the lily pad. In older versions, they were notorious for causing boats to break at the slightest touch.
Das ist so eine
Real
Scheiße
nether
immer.
portal. ThinkGeek released an April Fool's video showing a working USB nether portal. Beyond that, I just don't know what this one's talking about. MK Ultra servers. During the Cold War, the CIA had a program called MK Ultra whose goal was to develop drugs and other methods to force confessions through mind control. Although the program was shuttered in the 70s, this theory claims that MK Ultra still exists in the form of Minecraft servers. I cannot believe I just read that sentence out loud. It's not strictly impossible, but come on. Really?
Ich liebe solche Videos.
F5, second person view. Pressing F5 switches the camera between first person, third person from the back, and third person from the front views. First person is viewing the world as the character, and third person is viewing the world outside the character. Second person is harder to think about, but it would be seeing your character from the perspective of another character. The only way this works is if we think of ourselves as in the game world, watching from our own perspective. But that doesn't work in the context of first and third person.
Der hat mich jetzt ein bisschen verwirrt.
Rana is Alex. A lot of people don't know this, but there were several humanoid mobs in the game during some of the in-dev phase in late 2009 to 2010. These included Beast Boy, a different Steve, Black Steve, and Rana. They were all developed by a person known as Doc.
Black Steve?
However, Doc's art style didn't quite match the rest of the game, and his mobs were quickly removed. Rana in particular lasted from December 23rd, 2009 to February 5th, 2010, which is by far the longest of the quartet.
Yo.
Eventually, Steve became the player skin we know and love today. It's not far-fetched to think that Rana eventually became Alex, as she was the only girl out of Doc's characters, and lasted far longer than anyone else. I think this one's plausible.
Was hätten die anderen beiden werden sollen?
Strongholds are generated using real building
Haben wir aber
blueprints.
jetzt sozusagen.
Strongholds do have rooms that could exist in real life, such as libraries, prison cells, and staircases. Each stronghold is generated differently from the set of rooms and other components, so no particular stronghold is encoded specifically into the game. Thus, this entry simply isn't true. Terrorist-made mods. Yeah, this one is possible. I'm sure some terrorist somewhere has made a Minecraft mod. I can't find any specific examples, but it's probably happened at least once.
Yeah.
Renaming a pig to Mojang. There are a few Easter eggs that are activated by renaming certain animals to specific names. For example, naming a sheep Jeb causes it to cycle through colors, and naming any mob Dinnerbone flips it upside down. However, there's no such effect for naming a pig Mojang. Dr. Treyaris is a real doctor. Dr. Treyaris is a character from the YouTube channel DanTDM. Is he played by a real doctor? Who knows, but this doesn't have much to do with the base game of Minecraft. Coldplay copied Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom is a Captain Sparkles parody of Coldplay's Viva La Vida. Coldplay's version came out in 2008, Fallen Kingdom in 2012. This one's just a joke. Underneath Jeb's ponytail. Jeb is one of the lead designers at Mojang who's famous for his long hair. I can't find any conspiracy theories about his ponytail. The Simpsons Skin Pack Controversy. Mojang released the Simpsons Skin Pack for the Xbox version back in 2015.
Boah, hast du mitgekriegt, es gibt jetzt ein so ein Minecraft-DLC von Avatar. Also von Last Airbender.
Wie ein DLC?
Es gibt jetzt immer so Minecraft-DLCs, wo du, keine Ahnung, ich glaube, es gab Marvel sowas, wo du halt einfach dann so eine Map hast und halt wirklich auch in Avatar spielen kannst. Du kannst Bending, du kannst Quests und so. Das sollten wir uns vielleicht mal anschauen.
Gab es da nicht schon Mods dafür?
Ja, aber das ist jetzt von offiziell Minecraft.
Okay, müssen wir uns echt anschauen. Okay, das müssen wir uns anschauen. Das schauen wir uns an.
The most controversy that I could find is that the skins are not in the blocky Minecraft style of other characters. There's a little bit too much detail in their models, and it doesn't quite fit. Beta Villagers. Villagers first showed up in the game in 2011 with the Beta 1.9 pre-release.
Schön, dass sich die
They were
nie
initially
geändert
called
haben.
Testificates.
Das ist das Beste an allem.
They didn't do anything in beta besides live in the villages, and they actually had the same AI as pigs. There's really not much interesting here, but I'm sure a lot of people have forgotten that they used to have a different name. Craftable skins. This one simply isn't possible, although the player skin can be easily changed outside of the game environment. World-generated signs. There are actually a few cases where signs naturally generate. The first place is in the basement of an igloo, where arrows point to jail cells. They can also spawn in Taiga village houses as part of a chair, although neither of these contains particularly interesting text.
Schon sind wir bei 4. Captain Sparkles Blackmail.
Void entities. The void exists below bedrock at negative Y values. The player takes a high amount of damage below Y equals negative 64. Entities can actually exist in the void, although they're destroyed at negative 64. Interestingly, the Ender Dragon does not take damage in the void, so it would be the only entity that can exist at any Y value.
Okay.
Origins of the End Skybox. The End Skybox is a slightly purple field of static. It keeps with the theme of the Enderman. Beyond that, I don't know where it comes from. Maybe there's some story that I can't find. Pack.png. This one is really interesting and has a fascinating story. Minecraft's default server screen has a small image called pack.png, which is a pretty standard picture of a Minecraft world. It's existed in the game since Alpha 1.2.2, released November 10th, 2010. YouTuber SalC1 began to wonder where this image came from, and he described in a video how he found no information during his initial searches. Thus, a collaborative movement to search for pack.png was created in early 2020. Hundreds of people contributed, from upscaling the original image using AI to determining the chunk location using the cloud coverage. The process was fascinating.
Not again.
I can't hope to cover it in detail here. I'll leave a link to the SalC1 video that describes how it worked. In September 2020, the search was completed, and the world seed and location of pack.png was finally found. It's a testament to the dedication and ingenuity of the Minecraft community that this was accomplished, and it resolved one of Minecraft's great mysteries.
Das ist so eine geile Community, Minecraft.
Tracks you. There have been some mobile apps that track users for advertising purposes, but Minecraft Pocket Edition is not one of them. Minecraft Earth, on the other hand.
Yeah, wow.
Steve's old hurt sound was authentic. Minecraft's earlier versions had a different sound for when the player was hurt. However, this was changed in 2011 with the release of version 1.0, because the player was no longer necessarily a male. This Iceberg entry says that the old hurt sound was authentic, made by somebody actually getting hurt. The original sound was from freesound.org and wasn't created by Mojang. This is another one that's hard to prove either way, but it's at least possible. Hypixel Housing Cult.
Jetzt bin ich gespannt.
Hypixel is a popular Minecraft server which allows people to join groups and create houses on flying islands. There's supposed to be rumors that actual cults are using this system, but I can't find any concrete evidence. It's possible though.
Das wollte ich mit Creator machen, haben wir angefangen, aber nichts weiter gemacht.
Oh.
No.
Was? Ich dachte, gibt es voll die Story. Och, man.
Ruben is an intelligent pig of Jesse, one of the main characters. In episode 4, he takes a big fall while saving Jesse. Later on, he dies, dropping a single pork chop. I did find some crackpot theories about Ruben still being alive.
That is mein Humor.
All released before episode 5. This also doesn't really have to do with the base game, so I'm gonna move on. Enchantment Table Hidden Language. This one actually has some truth to it. The enchanting table runes are part of the standard galactic alphabet, which is from the Commander Keen video game series released in the 90s. This alphabet can be easily converted into the Latin alphabet. On the enchanting table, the runes spell out random words from a set list, although there's no connection between the word and the enchantment. Some of these words are Lovecraftian in nature,
Darkness,
but unfortunately
demon,
there's no deeper connection.
Destroy.
Spectating Enderman. Console commands allow players to switch into spectator mode, where they can see the world from the perspective of any other mob. If you do this on an Enderman, the colors are inverted, which implies that this is how they see the world. A few other mobs have special shaders as well.
Das wäre voll geil.
Was?
Captain Sparkle's Blackmail.
Das small?
I can't find anything on this one. Captain Sparkles is a Minecraft YouTuber, but I see no evidence of him being blackmailed. Craftable LSD.
Jetzt
This might be a
geht's
reference
auf.
to the famous acid shaders, but no, you can't craft LSD in Minecraft.
Ja.
The Soul Sand texture. I kind of mentioned this one earlier, but the Soul Sand texture is pretty clearly depicting screaming faces or ghosts. The texture was actually changed a few years ago to make it more obvious. This could align with a theory that I mentioned that says Soul Sand actually contains souls, or it could just be a texture that's designed to look cool. Either way, it does exist in the game. Evoker chants are actual cult recordings. I think this one is unlikely because there's only one Evoker audio file that doesn't sound like a villager, which is the charming spell Preparation. It's possible that this is from actual cult members, but since there's only one reasonable candidate, it would have been way more work than it'd be worth to get real cultists. Someone is in the game files. Who is in the game files? Player data is stored in the game files. Maybe this is a reference to Herobrine or Entity 303? I don't know.
Era 422.
The Nether is an accurate depiction of Hell. At one point, the biome ID of the Nether was Hell, and Notch has specifically referred to it as the Hell World. The Nether does have many similarities to the traditional Jewish and Christian Hell, a lake of fire, a place of death, and brimstone. I'm not sure I would say the Nether is an accurate depiction of Hell. After all, the whole point of Hell is that you can't leave. I think we can definitely conclude that the Nether was inspired by Hell, even if it's not an exact replica.
The last one.
The Abyss.
Calm 4 Hidden Frequencies. Calm4.ogg is a music track that existed in Minecraft for just 10 days, from Alpha 1.1.1 to Alpha 1.1.2 in September 2010. The track was created by Notch himself. At about 136 in the song, there's a slowed-down version of someone saying Mojang specifications.
Mojang specifications.
Okay.
It's not really known what this means, but it was in the game at one point. Minecon
Creepy.
2008. Minecraft didn't exist until 2009, and the first Minecon was in 2010, so I don't know what this one's about.
Nice.
Chicken AI. Microsoft once hosted the Marlowe 2018 competition, which stood for Multi-Agent Reinforcement Learning in Minecraft. It involved participants developing AI software which will be trained to accomplish various tasks in Minecraft. So far as I can tell, nothing major came out of this, and really, it's software which is outside of Minecraft, rather than in the game. Secret commands. Minecraft has several key commands that aren't typically used in normal gameplay. Most of these relate to the debug menu, accessed with F3. You can see all of them by pressing F3 and Q. Some highlights include reloading all chunks, detailed item descriptions, hitboxes, and causing the game to crash. There are no secret console commands that I could find. Withers based on failed Siberian modification experiments. This might be the spiciest entry on the entire Iceberg, but unfortunately, it seems to be completely made up.
Okay.
April Fool's
Ist es nicht
secret
hier under the
cultivation.
Iceberg?
The 2020 April Fool's snapshot added a great feature that allowed players to create virtually infinite custom dimensions. They could either throw a signed book into the nether portal or use the /warp command with the dimension name. Most of these dimensions were randomly generated, but there were a few that were hard-coded, such as Sponge, which creates a giant Menger sponge fractal, and Fleet, which generates an infinite fleet of ender ships. Unfortunately, Hell is not on this list, and though it does generate a dimension, it's random with no special properties.
Cool.
Secret room in Notch's mansion. In 2014, Notch bought a $70 million mansion in Beverly Hills after he sold Minecraft to Microsoft.
Warum
It
nicht?
does have a candy room, but as for secret rooms, we'll never know. Cobalt is Minecraft 2. Cobalt is a game released by Oxide Game Studios and was published by Mojang in 2016.
Sieht für mich auch so aus,
It's
als
a
wäre es
2D
Minecraft 2.
platformer/shooter.
Ja.
You need to come up with something really crazy to convince anyone that this is Minecraft 2. The Vindicators are building a Steve. This is yet another theory from MatPat. It involves the mysterious actions of the Illagers in their woodland mansions. It's known that they are banished villagers, but why? The theory claims that Illagers are kidnapping villagers and turning them into Ravagers using their dark magic. More so, the Illagers have at least some control over life and death, as evidenced by their totems of undying. The mansions have unexplained rooms of light blue and cyan wool, which connects to the colors of Steve's clothes. He says that the villagers tried to create a live Steve but failed, resulting in zombies. I think MatPat has a pretty good case for this one. I'd recommend you check out the full video to get the details. But
Das
I
ist
don't
eine
think this
coole
requires
Theorie.
any
Cool, ja.
Brown bricks. Okay, even in an Iceberg video, there are some things that should stay deep under the water. Research this one at your own risk.
Okay, nein.
The true meaning of dedicated wham. There's a video of a kid at Minecon 2013 asking panelists how much dedicated wham to add to a server.
I was wondering, what's the recommended amount of dedicated wham I should have to a server?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat your question?
Dedicated wham to a server.
RAM.
RAM.
If
Oh,
you're
how
wanting to
much
offer
RAM?
percent.
He was apparently trying to say dedicated RAM. You know, there's no deeper meaning to this one.
Doch.
It was just a kid who made a mistake.
Doch.
Minecraft post-credit scene. Do not watch.
War gerade verwirrt.
And with that, we have reached the ultimate depths of the Minecraft
Ja,
Eisberg.
nice. Das war der Minecraft Eisberg. War ziemlich cool. Ich liebe Eisberg-Videos. Ich hätte auch einen Dreiteiler zu Alternate History Iceberg. Lasst euch ein Like und ein Abo, wenn es euch gefallen hat. Schaut beim nächsten Mal vorbei. Schaut das Originalvideo von Retro Gaming Now. Und ja, wir sehen uns dann beim nächsten Mal. Tschüss.
Tschüss.